Okay. Welcome to PowerPoint 3A. So for this one, we're going to just add some images, some video, and then we're going to remember how to do transitions, but we're also going to add some animations. Okay. So let's look at this background style. All right, it's a little bit busy considering we're talking about nature, and maybe we can add something more natural looking. So I'm going to come to the Design tab. And I love these ideas, but we can't use them for right now. So let's change it to a different color variant. So we're going to come over here. Here are our variants. And we haven't done the variants before, I don't think. But let's go ahead and change it to, instead of green, let's go to the blue one. Okay, I'm going to say apply to all slides. Okay, so now we have green color. We could also do this one. All right, but that's what it was. Or you can change it to any of the other ones. Okay. So let me go back to this one. And then it changes them for all slides. What we could also do is just change the background. So if I don't like all those circles and everything, I'm going to come over here to Format Background. And I'm actually going to format each of these differently. So let's do a solid fill for this one. And see this box? It says hide background graphics. Well, that's those circles and everything I was talking about. So I'm going to click hide background graphics, and now that all goes away. Right? So let's go ahead and apply that to all slides, and then we're going to go through and change the backgrounds for the other ones. So let's go to slide 2 and keep the hide background, but let's make it a blue. And then for 3, let's make it a different shade of blue. And then 4, no, we're not going to do another blue. Instead, this time we're going to do a picture. Okay, so we've seen this before in other programs. We're going to insert one of those images from our files. So this should say PP3A image. So I'm going to find that on mine. So here we go, PP3A image, insert, and it's going to put it in the background for us. Now we've done this before where we've like lightened the transparency so it kind of fades into the background. We could also choose a picture, so different options you can do. You can even add artistic effects to these, to the background images. And you can also do picture coloration or any of those. You could recolor these, you can make it not so bright. Or you probably hear the footsteps of my puppy. So let's go to slide 3. All right, and this one already has a picture, so we're not going to change that. But what we're going to do is add some animations. So let's add an animation to the title. To do that, I'm going to come to the Animations tab, and you can see all of these different animations, right? We can do an emphasis, we can do exit, so we can have it be there and then like make it leave. There's also motion paths, which we won't play with, but they're kind of fun to play with. So the green is the start, red is the stop, or what you want it to do at the end. So it's kind of fun. You can have something like walk across your screen. That's nice. But let's go to, let's do random. So it's going to preview it, and I'm going to close that format background because I actually want to open the animation pane. So here's where it tells me all of the steps, right? So I have this, but let's say if it has a number, that means I have to click the mouse, right? It says on click over here in the timing group. So if I want the title to just automatically show up, I'm going to do the drop down and say after previous or with previous immediately. So let's do with previous. And then let's add some animations to these. So I'm going to change those. Let's do some wipes. All right. And they have different numbers. So it's saying these are going to happen first, second, third. They're kind of grouped already. We have effect options. So we can tell them to come in different angles. So we can say from the left, and we can say from the right. We can say all at once, or we can say by paragraph, which is what we had to begin with. I like to open this up so that way I can see what's grouped. So you see it has a 1 just by the first line, and then the other ones are blank because that means these appear with what comes before it. And then you see the 2. Okay. Now let's add a animation to this image. So I'm going to do, actually let's play with an emphasis this time. So I'm going to do a grow and shrink. So you can see the image growing. All right. If I wanted to say, well, let's make it tiny. Right, so you can kind of do different effects. You can make it huge. Okay, so that's probably not a good idea. So I'll just go to large. Okay. And now we can say play from. So I'm going to start from the beginning, play from, and it can preview what's happening. So remember, anything that has a number, it also has a mouse on it. That means you have to click your mouse to start that animation. So now let's go to 2. Slide 2, actually, we're going to add animations to this, but this is different because remember, this is Smart Art. Again, if you're not sure, you can check it by clicking on it, and then you see that arrow, right, the pop out to the side. That tells you it's Smart Art. So we're going to add some animation to this. When I click on, let's try appear this time. So it doesn't know what to do. It kind of just makes them all appear at once. You can also make the duration a little bit longer. So let's say we wanted this to take 2 seconds. And actually, let's do a fade because that's easier to see. So you can say how long it takes. 2 seconds. Oh, that's a really long time, actually. 0.75. Okay. So it kind of fades in slower. But we want all the road bikes to come in, and then the mountain bikes, and then the hybrid. So let's do effect options. And it says as one object. No, let's do 1 by 1. So now it's going mountain bikes, then what's below it, topic, what's below it. If we do level at once, so that didn't help because it's road bikes, then mountain bikes, hybrid, and then it tells you the bikes. Level 1 by 1. Nope, didn't want that either. So we do kind of want them 1 by 1 though, a little bit. I'm going to open this up, and we want the Diamondback and Blue Norcross to actually show up with the word road bike. So I'm going to click over here, and it's when I click on the 2, it shows me what the 2 is, right? So I'm going to say, let's do this with previous, and see what that does. Oops. Okay, so I went too many with previous's. This one needs to be with previous, and then this last one needs to be with previous. Okay, so let's play that from the beginning. Road bikes and that. Yep. So then with Smart Arts, if you want to customize the effects, it takes a little bit more work with those. And then now let's go to slide 1. We're going to add a video to this. So I'm going to say insert, and we're not going to do an online video. We're going to do the video that came with the practice. So here we go, 3A video. And it kind of inserts it in the middle. We have some really great design ideas. So again, if this was a project for a different class or for work, you might use those. And here we have some options. I'm going to close that animation pane. But we can kind of play around with this. So we can choose how this looks. We can choose where this focuses. We can do a frame on it. So just like pictures, we can frame it as if it were a picture. Right. So I'm just going to pick a kind of rounded frame. Let's give it a effect of a shadow. We can also do some glows. We have lots of options. And then we have this playback option as well. So I can add some bookmarks. We can fade in, fade out. Or right here's our volume. How do we want it to sound? Do we want it to play automatically? Or do we want it to loop? Right? If you want to pretend this is like a slideshow going on at the beginning, you can loop it. You can also mute it if you don't like the background. So you're probably familiar with a lot of these. Let's go to trim video. And I can trim, all right, some of these videos. Okay. So maybe we keep it there, but then if we want this to be exactly 1 minute, I can come down and trim it a little bit. We can also move this so that way this is how we want it to start, and I say okay, all right, that'll be the starting position. So you can use the trim. You can also fade in, fade out if you play with those, or you can say play in full screen. So lots of options here in the playback. Add a bookmark if you want to remember where to go to. Okay, so now we have these stars on all of them except for 4. Let's add some to 4, and this is kind of hard to read. So we can change the colors of these. Remember, press Control on your keyboard to select more than once. And I'm going to make this a darker color so we can read it better. Remember, you can change the bullet points, the coloring and all of that. Drop down bullet points. I can change those colors. Okay, so now we can see everything on the slide, and we can add some animation if we wanted. So I'm just going to pick this content placeholder, come to animations, and let's say this time we want to exit. So, right, we can exit those, and so forth. Maybe we can swirl them out. So lots of different options that you can do. Here's a trigger. So if you want them to click on something specific, so that's used, triggers are used for like making a game. So you want people to click on certain parts, you can do that. Now let's go back to slide 2. Now, if you're in a group presentation and one person's supposed to talk about road bikes, another person's supposed to talk about mountain bikes, and maybe you have someone who's being a mouse hog, well, you can actually time this. So see the delay. You can say, well, let's give each other, I don't know, 15 seconds to talk about each of them, or however many minutes maybe, and then it'll automatically switch or go to the next slide, so that way you can keep on track with your timing, right? It really helps these delays or the after previous to help you keep your focus when you're trying to present using this. You can also do the previews. Let's add some transitions in between the slides, just because we can. Apply to all. Again, another way to switch slides, you can change the duration, advanced slide, either with the mouse click, or you can say after, so everyone gets 2 minutes on each slide maybe, so you can really keep everyone in the group on certain times. All right, so last thing that you're going to want to do is compress this, because maybe these videos or these images are a lot. So I can go to info, and this is where we've done titles before, tags before. So I can come to compress media and change it. So I can go to standard, and this is if space is limited, full HD, HD. So you're going to want to compress the media so that way you can actually upload it to submit your homework. All right, and there you have it.